Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is April 26, 2021, and today is Monday morning. So welcome back, everybody. And looking at the highlights of the day, the euro continues its rally higher versus the USD. There's no major economic events scheduled for today, but as we look at the various markets, starting out with the currencies, it's the euro that is leading the way higher versus the USD. Ironically, the other major pairs is not following so clearly. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. And looking at the indices, the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones rally back after a decent sell-off on Thursday. And looking at commodities, gold and oil both taper off on lighter volume. If we look at the stocks, it's a mixed bag. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin bounces for its massive sell-off last week. We're going to take a look at that as well. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So let's start with a daily chart of the Eur USD. Look at that. Nice 121 level. We pushed higher. We used this 120.24-ish level as a support-ish area and then plow higher. Now, the next real resistance-ish level is 121.60. We're about 60 pips away from that. So, well, all intents and purposes, we could really hit that today. Now, looking at a 4-hour chart, just to give us perspective, look at that at the top of the rally. This is decently what we call a V formation. If we take a look at that, boom, that's the V. Okay, not a perfect V. I didn't draw the perfect V, but the graph is a perfect V. If we look at a daily chart, that's much better. So potentially at 121.65 is our next resistance-ish level. Now, if we look at the other major currencies versus the dollar, didn't do as much. Okay, the Aussie dollar did perk a little bit, but nothing really to write home about. I would have expected to be somewhere in the 78-ish level, okay, somewhere a little bit higher, but the euro has taken the toll. Now, looking at the Gbp Usd also did not bounce as high and did not bounce even at all, really. Okay, so we may see that continuation actually happening with the euro being, you know, the stronger of the pairs and the British pound being the weaker of the pairs. Now, jumping into commodities, let's go into gold first. Gold trading at 1778, really unchanged, all right? Not really doing much here. We're at that, you know, almost par level with the moving averages. So nothing really jumping there. Now, looking at oil as well, right there, smack in the middle between our extremities of 64.51 on the upper limit and 58.68 on the lower limit. So we're smack in the middle of that right now. Now, jumping into the indices, all right? The Dow Jones was the stronger of the pair, trading to 33,976. We had a decent sell-off to 33,500-ish level and then a rally back. Now, potentially, this could be a triple top, all right? So I don't want to... I'm expecting a sell-off, okay? I'm expecting a sell-off at a certain point. The question is when are we going to get that sell-off, okay? The reason I say I'm expecting a certain sell-off is both cyclically, we're going into May, where the markets have been, you know, on a tear upwards since October. So there's a room for us to book some profits, okay? So going into the next month, I think that's where we're going to be at. So potentially, in the next couple of weeks, we could see a decent sell-off in the Dow Jones. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, also hovering above its 13,900-ish level, but again, not breaking out higher, okay? I don't see new highs here, something that's jumping at me to tell me, oh, this is really going to get stronger. Now, let's take a look at the individual stocks. Facebook, okay, did perk up. JP Morgan did perk up a little bit. Alcoa perked up. You know, Apple perked up. Everything perked up, but nothing is on its dead highs, okay, besides Microsoft, okay? So with that said, we may see, you know, if this does continue and does push us higher, this may lift up the market, okay? So I don't want to celebrate that triple top anytime too soon, but I want to keep both sides open here as we're, you know, extending our upwards momentum, okay, into the last week of April. Now, looking at Bitcoin, all right, this is where it's at. Bitcoin jumping and bouncing at this 4850-ish level, 500-ish level. We're above that 52,000. So this is really an important level for us to be. If we look at a daily chart, okay, that was the support level, 48,700. And this is so set up in such a way, if you see all these lines that I have set up, these are support lines that I've set up for it, okay? So we are at a interval right now on the 8-day moving average right now. So we're in between this 8-day and 30-day moving average. We may use it as a resistance lever area. So if we don't break out higher today, we may see this just retrace back to 50,700. Now remember, I mean, all intents and purposes, it's close to its highs, but there's some uncertainty about regulation, about other cryptocurrencies coming into the market, okay? Competition is really good for the market, okay? It's good for the consumer, but not necessarily good for the investment. So something to consider going into today's trading with Bitcoin. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.